Hi. I believe that the path to personal growth, spiritual growth, however you want to frame it, is really a journey of overcoming addictions. And addictions take many forms. Basically, it's anything outside of ourselves that we feel that we need in order to have peace. And I believe that depression, suicide, anxiety, anger, all these things that are unpleasant can result from saying there's this thing outside of myself and I'm over here and I can't get it. I can't get to this. And so I'm angry about it, I'm uncomfortable, anxious, I'm depressed, I'm going to kill myself because I can't get this thing I need. And I guarantee there is no thing that you need over here. You just think you need it. And what you really have problem with is the path to get to what you really need. But with some mindfulness and awareness and some effort, you can get to what you really need. And it's just a matter of doing things differently. You may do things the way your parents did them. You may do things the way you see people in the media do them. You may stick to habits that worked in the past but don't really work anymore. But if you're willing to reevaluate, then you can get to a place where things are working without any habits that are self-destructive. And the formula for this is something that can work for anything. Anything that can feel good in some way can become an addiction, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter. But I'll stick primarily to love, sex, things that bring you up, things that calm you down, and things that alter your consciousness. Now, with love addiction, say you're here, and then you have an experience that you want, whatever it is, a feeling of being appreciated. And so you think, this is the part we got to look out for, the path, the connection to the thing that we want. You think that a certain person is how you get to that experience. And if that person gets you to that experience of feeling appreciated, for example, if that person's not available, then you think you can't get to that place anymore. So the only way to get there is for that other person, which is putting your power outside of your sphere of influence and creating suffering. You can feel appreciated directly by appreciating yourself, and then you still get to that experience of feeling appreciated, but you're no longer dependent upon an external source. And your ego will tell you you need that external source because that keeps you trapped and that keeps ego in control, as opposed to your true self, which is peaceful by nature. And let's say that you connect that other person to travel, to having fun, to avoiding loneliness, or whatever the experience is, whatever you're trying to get to over here, and you're here. You think that person is going to get you to these different things. But all those things that you think are dependent upon another person are things that you can get to directly. Now, sex, if you're here and you want sex, then getting to that other person, this is the most challenging to overcome this addiction, because to have sex with another person requires another person. And that's not always available. The more, contemporarily, traditionally attractive you are, the easier it may be to find sex. But that doesn't mean that it's always worth it, because with sex, the challenge is to overcome a biological craving. If it's not available in a healthy, natural way. And it's basically designed to feel so good so that we have children, and that leads to populating the planet. But that's not such a big deal anymore because there's plenty of humans, and so the more important thing is to make sure that your desire for sex is not controlling your more fundamental desire for peace. And let's say you're here and sex is here. Now, you can get to an experience, let's say it's orgasm that you want. You can use self-pleasuring, masturbation, to get to that experience. And we're conditioned to think that, well, sex with another person is always better than masturbation. And, well, sometimes it's not, because when you're sexual with somebody, you're also taking in their energy, and you're also dealing with everything else that's in their world. So, if that's good, if the other things in their world that come into your life because of sex are good, then that's fine. But if they're not, sometimes it's better to take a break. I went through a period where I was celibate for a couple of years. And at the time, it's not that I chose to so much as it just wasn't happening. And I was healing a lot from some family hurts that I had. And I was also in an intense period of starting up my business and becoming independent. And it taught me that I didn't need sex. I mean, I preferred it, but I didn't need it. And that's part of overcoming a pattern in which I never went for probably more than a few months without getting involved or finding some sexual partner. And a lot of times with sex, what you're looking for is something that's secondary. So you think you're here looking for sex, but let's say you're looking to feel more relaxed, or feel loved, or feel good, feel positive, all these different attributes. Break it down. Instead of looking at it as just sex, how can you feel relaxed? How can you feel loved? How can you give love to yourself? How can you, let's say you want release. How else can you feel release in your life? Exercise vigorously, get yourself in your body in that way. Whatever it takes to feel as though you don't need to sacrifice yourself in order to get to this thing outside of yourself that you think you need. Now, drugs